Greetings to everyone. My name is Natasha Nguni, and for today, I'll be doing an introduction to Excel functions. What I will do is I will share my screen so that we can get to work. As I said, we are doing an introduction to Excel functions. In particularly, we'll be looking at 4 Excel functions, which is the minimum. It shows the minimum value that is obtained in the given criteria. We also have the maximum, which shows the maximum value that is obtained in the given criteria. Thirdly, we have the count function, which counts the number of cells that meet the criteria that you have specified. Lastly, we'll look at the average function, which calculates the average of the given numbers. Let me open the spreadsheet that we will be using. Here we have our spreadsheet, which is first term grades. We have the student number, we have the student names, and we have the marks that they obtained for quiz 1, test 1, quiz 2, and test 2. What is required of us is to calculate the average for each learner, to calculate the lowest score that they obtained, the highest score that they obtained, and count how many students who got an average above 80%. So let me just show you how to calculate the average. We'll go to our cell range, which is F3. We'll type equals to because it is a function that we're using, and we'll say average and we'll click. Automatically, when I start typing average, it shows me a number of average functions that I could use. And then I'll open my bracket. I'll highlight the range that I wanted to count, which is from quiz 1 to test 2, and my range is from B3 to E3. Then I'll close my form function, and there we have it. Our average for Jackson Love is 80.75. I'll also do it for the second student. We'll say equals to average open bracket. We'll highlight from B4 to E4, and then we'll close our bracket and click enter. So for Priya Patel, she got 96%. What I'll do, because we don't necessarily have to calculate individually for each and every student, we can autofill by clicking and dragging down to the last student. And there we have it. We have the average for each and every student in class. Next, we're going to calculate the lowest score achieved for quiz 1, test 1, quiz 2, and test 2. What we'll do is we'll also start our function with an equal sign, and because we're calculating the lowest score, we'll use the min function. Open our bracket, We'll then highlight our range from B3 all the way down to B17, close our function with the bracket, and then we have it. The lowest score achieved by a student is 54%. We'll also do it again for test 2. We'll say equal sign, min, open bracket, and then we'll highlight our range from C3 to C17. Then we'll close our bracket, meaning that we have reached the end of our formula, and then we'll press enter. The lowest mark achieved by a student for test 1 is 67%. Now we'll just autofill by clicking and dragging horizontally until test 2. We can see the different minimum marks achieved by the learners. For quiz 1, it's 45. For test 2, it's 72. And then next, we will calculate the highest score achieved by the learners. Here, we will use the maximum sign. So we'll say we'll use the maximum function. We'll open our bracket, highlight our range, which is B3 to B17. Then we'll close our bracket, and then we'll click enter. So for quiz 1, some of the learners got 100%. And then we'll do it again. For test 1, we'll say equal to max, open our bracket, highlight criteria, and then we'll close our bracket and press enter. Here for quiz 2 and test 2, we'll just autofill the formula that we already have. And see some of the learners got 95 for test 2. For quiz 2, that got 90. Lastly, we'll count the learners who got above 8%. We'll start with all sign, and then count, open our bracket, highlight. Instead of closing out the full comma, goes now to your criteria. So to insert our criteria, for our criteria to be valid, we have to put quotation marks. So I'll open with the quotation, just type equals to above 8, and we'll close again with a quotation mark. Then we'll close our equation, and close, and there we have it. Out of 17, they got 8. And for test 1, we'll do the same thing. We'll say equals to count open a bracket, when it will say highlight our criteria, which is from, because we have criteria that need to the comma, and then open our quotation marks. After inserting our quotation marks, so equals to or greater than 8. We'll then close our quotation marks and close our equation with the closing brackets, and then we'll press enter. Now we'll just fill and drain for all of the students for 2 and 2. This is it. This is how we use the average, the lower, the minimum, the maximum, and the count function. So we have, and I hope you found it informative. Goodbye.